the sky wept over Dorset. Not a dramatic downpour, but a persistent, grey drizzle that slicked the ancient cobblestones and clung to the sea air. Through this soft curtain of rain walked a figure, solitary and unassuming. Wrapped in a deep forest green raincoat, a wide-brimmed hat pulled low, she moved with a quiet grace that blended into the rhythm of the sleepy coastal town. This was Catherine, Princess of Wales, but today, she was intentionally invisible. No flashing cameras, no security detail clearing the path, no expectant smiles. Just a private visit to a local children's centre, a commitment held close to her heart, far from the glare of London. The chill, however, was beginning to seep through her coat. Hunger gnawed gently. Ahead, a sleek facade broke the line of traditional shopfronts, Salt and Sage, its minimalist sign promising warmth and modern cuisine. Drawn by the prospect of a hot meal, she pushed open the heavy glass door. Inside, a wave of warmth, scented with garlic and expensive perfume, enveloped her. Soft jazz played. Catherine approached the hostess stand, offering a polite, unassuming smile. "Excuse me, would it be possible to get a table? Just for one." The young hostess, poised and immaculate, cast a quick, appraising glance over Catherine's practical raincoat and sturdy, rain-speckled boots. The smile didn't reach her eyes. "I'm sorry," she said, her tone perfectly pitched between professional courtesy and subtle dismissal. "We don't typically have tables available for solo walk-ins right now." Catherine, accustomed to navigating all manner of social currents, remained calm. "Oh, not even perhaps a seat at the bar?" The hostess gestured vaguely towards Catherine's attire. "We do maintain a certain dress code," she stated flatly, a hint of judgment coloring the words. "You might find somewhere, simpler, nay, more comfortable." Just then, the door opened again, admitting a couple radiating affluence, crisp tailoring, designer handbag, confident air. The hostess's demeanor shifted instantly into welcoming warmth. "Right this way, sir, madam. Your table is ready." They were ushered past Catherine without a second glance. A small, almost imperceptible smile touched Catherine's lips. It wasn't amusement, nor offense, but perhaps a flicker of resignation. "Thank you anyway," she said softly, her voice even. "Have a good afternoon." And she turned, pulling her collar tighter, and walked back out into the deepening rain. As the door closed behind her, a young waitress named Ellie, clearing a nearby table, whispered to the hostess, her eyes wide, "Wasn't that?" The hostess rolled her eyes, adjusting her perfectly straight posture. "Honestly, some people probably thought a polite act gets you anywhere. Did you see that coat?" But Ellie kept staring at the door, a knot tightening in her stomach. She knew that face, even shadowed by the hat, even without the usual polished context. They hadn't just turned away some woman. They had turned away the future queen consort outside. Catherine pulled her hood further forward, tucking a stray strand of damp hair behind her ear. Her stomach rumbled again, a more insistent reminder of her skipped lunch. She wasn't angry. If anything, she felt a quiet sort of stun, a momentary dislocation. Not because her status hadn't been recognized, she often sought anonymity, but because, for that brief interaction, she had been made to feel less than. Invisible. Judged purely on appearance. And that feeling, she realized with a clarity sharpened by the rain, was a potent, unpleasant echo of something many people face every single day. It mattered. She continued walking, melting into the sparse crowd of afternoon shoppers clutching umbrellas. No one gave her a second look. Just another woman navigating the damp streets. And in a strange way, she cherished the anonymity even as the rain began to fall harder. Seeking shelter, she ducked down a narrow, charming alleyway, cobblestones slick beneath her boots. Colorful signs pointed towards hidden cafes and bakeries. One, unassuming, caught her eye. A modest blue awning above a fogged-up window, Rosie's table, home cooking with heart. She pushed open the door. A cheerful bell jingled overhead. The air inside was thick and warm, smelling intensely of cinnamon, roasting vegetables, and something vaguely floral, maybe lavender from the dried bunches hanging from the beams. The contrast with Salt and Sage was immediate and profound. Mismatched wooden chairs were tucked around sturdy tables, floral curtains framed the windows, and the cheerful clatter of cutlery replaced the hushed tones of fine dining. There were no pretensions here, only comfort. Behind a simple wooden counter stood a woman, likely in her 60s, her face kind, framed by wisps of gray hair escaping a bright red headscarf. An apron, dusted with flour, was tied snugly around her waist. She looked up as Catherine entered, her eyes crinkling at the corners with a genuine, unforced smile. "Oh, sweetheart. You absolutely soaked," the woman exclaimed, bustling around the counter, already grabbing a clean tea towel from a nearby hook. Come in, come in. Don't just stand there dripping. Sit yourself down. We'll get you something warm right away." Catherine couldn't help but chuckle, the tension easing from her shoulders. "Thank you so much. I wasn't sure if you were still serving lunch." "For you, love?" "Always," the woman replied warmly, gesturing to a small, empty table in a cozy corner. "Tea first, I reckon." "Oh, yes please," Catherine sighed, relief washing over her. "That would be wonderful." The woman bustled towards the kitchen, calling out, "Lena, pop the kettle on, sharpish. We've got a guest needs warming from the bones out." Moments later, a young girl, perhaps 14 or 15, with bright, curious eyes and flour smudges on her cheek, brought over a steaming mug of tea on a small tray. She placed it down carefully, her movements earnest. "Mum says welcome," she whispered shyly, offering a tentative smile. "We're not fancy like some places down the road, but we're warm." Catherine met the girl's gaze and smiled back, a genuine warmth spreading through her that had nothing to do with the tea. "Right now," she said softly, "warm and kind is exactly what I needed. Thank you." She didn't offer her name or title. She simply sat, cradling the mug, letting the simple kindness of strangers seep in, realizing with sudden clarity that the grandest welcomes often happen at the smallest tables, but the story, of course, didn't end in the quiet warmth of Rose's table. Unknown to Catherine, and certainly unknown to the staff at Salt and Sage, a customer seated near the entrance had discreetly filmed the entire exchange, Catherine's polite request, the hostess's cool dismissal, the immediate seating of the other couple, Catherine's calm, dignified exit back into the rain. Perhaps moved by the quiet injustice, perhaps just sensing a story, the customer uploaded the short clip to social media with a simple, potent caption. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't demand anything. She just walked away. Class isn't always obvious. If you were moved by this story of quiet strength and unexpected kindness, please subscribe to Royal Kindness Stories for more true-life tales where empathy reigns and dignity is always served first. Let kindness be your crown.